Hey, hello, good morning. This is Annemiek from the Academy for Soul-Based Coaching. And today I want to talk to you about coaching questions that can backfire. It's a really interesting conversation to have because, as coaches, or as I would like to be a coach, the quality of the coaching questions that you have and your ability to hold space are really what make the difference between an okay coach and a really good coach. And I'll give people some time to maybe jump in live, but I haven't actually told this is going to happen. So you'll catch this when you catch this. Thinking about the questions that you use then becomes a really, really important thing to do, because the questions you use will determine what is possible for the person that you're working with. And in soul-based coaching, we're very particular about the questions that we want to use. And these questions are often clean language questions. These questions are very, very clear about what they do, and they do not have side effects that we don't want. Because the really interesting thing about a question is that when you are asked a question, your brain cannot help to actually start answering that question. Even if you don't want to, your brain has to process the information that is in that question in order to come to the conclusion that you do not want to answer it. So whenever a question is asked, it sets in motion this process of answering the question, which will go across, prior experiences of your client, feelings, thoughts that they have about this situation, all sorts of things. And what we want is our questions to be helpful for their change process. So we do not want them to get triggered in any way that is, unhelpful, especially not when there's other ways, and we can easily avoid that. So this is why I am talking about that question that you've all used, because it's a very common coaching question, and I use it too, with a caveat, so we'll get back to that later. The question is, and what do you need to ... You can fill in the blanks. And, what do you need to feel confident? What do you need to start building your business? What do you need to be visible? What do you need to eat healthy? What do you need to lose that weight that you'd like to lose? What do you need to be in that relationship that you dream about? Whatever the goal is, we're really, really happy often to ask that question. So let's look at that question and what it does. That question of what do you need, what it asks is for the conditions that need to be met for that person to achieve their goal. So what are the things that you need to be to feel confident? What is it that you need to start a successful business? What is it that you need to become visible? It presupposes that when we know about these things that you need, it's that much easier to actually get that need fulfilled and to reach your goal. And of course, that is true, but up to a point. And let me tell you the ways that that question can easily backfire. The biggest way is that that question is often asked way, way, way too soon. It's a perfect question for like a trigger happy coach to start shooting away to make things happen. And it's the equivalent of, pulling the grass to make it grow faster. And hi, everybody who's watching. And you know what? Pulling the grass to make it grow faster, it just doesn't work. What you do is that you uproot the process of change and healing that is actually happening in that moment. And of course, that's the last thing that we want. Now, another way that this question can easily backfire is, and tell me when you're listening, tell me if you recognize any of this or any thoughts or questions that come into your mind when you hear this. A second way that this question can backfire is that it will do something internally to your client. it will trigger some process because it presupposes that your client is supposed to know the answer to this, right? And your client might go, oh, fuck, what's the answer that she's looking for? Or am I going to get this right? What if I don't have an answer? I'm kind of not good enough as a client if I don't have this answer. Or they might go, oh, I don't know. If I knew that, I'd be doing it already. Or, they might go, I can't even go there yet because, it indicates there's other stuff that needs to be addressed first. And you might not hear about all of this because clients are very good at regulating their internal stuff, but it's getting their attention. And it will derail your coaching process in a way that's really not necessary. There is another way that it can backfire, and that is that it really ushers in the to-do list. It's like, what needs to happen for you to do this? It's like, okay, I'm going to make a list of things that need to happen, and then I'm going to have to look at how I'm going to make all of these happen. And it just puts people in that action-taking frame of mind, which is interesting because as a culture, we're addicted to this, but it's actually not where lasting change comes from. So it's kind of distracting people from where it actually needs to happen. And I'll come back to that in a moment. Another one yet is that it often helps the client focus on external factors that are needed to get their needs met, to reach their desired outcome, and that are not within their control. And then you need to spend time with them to help them navigate this. Well, actually, it's, again, not what is key and what is most important about making a change happen. It's something that is on the side. I have two more ways in which that question of what do you need to ... can backfire. One is quite interesting and important because it goes with asking that question too soon. We often ask it when our clients are still pretty much in their conceptual minds, the everyday mind, where they think things through, where they try to find logical connections and causes and effects. And you know what? That part of their mind, it's not the part that can do lasting change. It tries to really hard, but you know what? If it were the case, if that could do it, then we would all be very happily making all the changes that we wanted to make. But our actual changes are made, the changes that last are made on a different level of our awareness. And that brings us to the overall reason why this question backfires. And it is that it focuses our coachee's mind on what's in between them and them having this desired outcome. So it kind of emphasizes that it's not here yet. It's like, what do you need to feel confident? I'm starting to think about all the reasons why I'm not confident yet, or why I don't feel confident yet. Whereas we can easily do something else. And now is the time, finally, to start talking about how you can do this and help people achieve that change in a way that will actually stick and last. One is that when you hear them talk about, and let's take I want more confidence as an example. You hear them talk about confidence and they'll share about why this is important to you, and they'll tell you their story around that. Now that story is interesting, but it's actually not the most interesting thing to focus on. The story will be, the way in. And when you hear that what they want most is to feel confident, what you want to do then is to help them connect with that confidence. And the questions that we ask in soul-based coaching are questions like, what kind of confidence is it? And where is that confidence? And that confidence is like what? And we'll take our time for each one of those and to really help our clients explore what confidence is to them. Because you know what? it's not going to be any kind of confidence that you've encountered before or that they are aware of, because every person truly is unique. And of course, there'll be things that you can recognize, but look for the uniqueness in this confidence and help your clients find out about what that uniqueness is about, what this confidence for them is going to make happen, what it feels like, what it is like in their system. The really interesting thing when we do this, when we help them focus on what they want, so confidence in this instance, is that we make them access that state of confidence in this moment. This is the way that our brain works. We can only answer questions about a desired outcome, a goal that we want to achieve, when we actually connect with that state. So focusing on that, what they want, in this case, the confidence, is going to help them access this state in the moment. And we go one step further. That last question of this confidence is like what? It invites them in to create or feel into the metaphorical representation of this confidence. So what is this like for them? And it can be a safety net. It can feel like a golden light that shines from their womb, or it can be anything, literally anything. The thing is that we know in soul-based coaching that once they start to access this metaphor and they start to embody it, to really feel it inside their bodies and around it, what happens is that they're creating the neurological pathways that they need to experience confidence in that moment. So they're actually building confidence, that state of confidence in that moment. They don't need to go anywhere. They don't need to do anything about it. They are in the moment doing it within themselves. And when these neurological pathways are created, of course, what happens is that that state of confidence is something that is in their system now. It's literally programmed in their body, mind, soul system. It's much easier to access that state in any kind of situation that they will find themselves in. And this then becomes your biggest focus for the rest of your session, to help them stay into this state of confidence, because then we are creating change in the moment, and it will start to influence all the other parts of their system that are also part, that were part of why they weren't feeling confident before. So that change, that state that they are creating, it will spread out to other parts of their system. And there's more to say about how you can help them do that. Because there's likely to be something like self-doubt. There could be fear. All the reasons why confidence wasn't the way that their system was acting before, or that, their system was generating before. And we want to make sure that all these parts get to be connected into this new state of confidence. That's for another time. For now, you can notice that, that change happening in this moment, not dependent on anything or, anyone outside of them, not dependent on any actions that they need to take, because the actions will follow from this new state. When you feel confident, when you feel it, when it's inside of you, the way that you think about things, the way that you feel about things that you encounter, it's going to change. So the actions you take are changing as well, automatically. It's a result, like a logical result of what's happened. So we do not need that question of what do you need to feel confident. We do not need it. We do not need to trigger any of those unwanted side effects. We do not need it to backfire. And the only time that I would consider using that question would be if a client is fully in their embodied metaphor and there's something that isn't shifting yet. But, before you get there, there is a lot more that you can do by focusing on this thing that they really want to experience, and to help them create this embodied metaphor. So if you are in a session or in a conversation and you find yourself in this, I want to ask that question of what do you need to just check these 3 things, right? Check whether what your intention is. Is it you wanting to make something happen right now for them? Because that's, not the most useful driver. The second one is your client, the person that you're working with, are they fully feeling what it is like to feel confident? Are they really experiencing that in the moment? If not, focus your efforts there. It's going to be much, much more effective. And then the third one, just check, am I still curious about this exact type of confidence? Am I still wanting to know about how this works for this client? Not confidence in general, not my ideas about confidence, not even your client's ideas about confidence, because what they know about it is not the same as how it's operating in the system. So becoming really, really interested. And hi, Steph, wonderful to see you. Becoming really, really curious about what this confidence is like. That's going to help you stay in the area that's most useful for your client. Now, I've talked about a lot of things, and the main thing I want to give you is an opportunity to find out about how change can work in a very different way, a way where you do not need to pull the grass, a way where you can see that the grass grows, and it actually grows really fast when we do this. And you know what? This way of working, it rests in your client's deepest knowing, the knowing that they're not aware of in their everyday logical minds. It rests in their deepest knowing, and it also fully relies on trusting life's intelligence. And you'll start to find out when you do this that that's a very different way of approaching people's ability to make changes happen that are lasting and very fun and fulfilling. So if you want to know more about that, come and find out about the Holding Space Plus workshops that we run. It's a free workshop where you get to experience the essence of soul-based coaching. It runs every month or so, so come and join us. Find it. I'll put the link in the comments. So come and find us and try this. And if you run into any questions, let me know, because that's going to be a really interesting conversation to have. So enjoy this exploration of how you can help people create real, lasting change easily, without getting sidetracked, without getting backfired. Okay, enjoy.